Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about the fan favorite caliber, the 5.56x45, and how you can use it all from the level 1 traders. Let's find out how to do it. The M4 is a semi and fully automatic firearm that uses the 5.56x45 round for Peacekeeper, and as a bonus, the USEC PMCs start with a few of these at the beginning of the wipe in their initial stash. The ADAR 215 is a semi-automatic version of the M4 that can be found on scavs or bought from Skier Level 1. Alright, as a reminder, I do stream on Twitch, so if you don't mind, go and following me over there. The link will be in the description below. Also, feel free, if you like content like this, to subscribe and leave comments below on the videos that you want to see and more guns you want to talk about. I'd be happy to bring that content to you. So, with this one, we're going to talk about the R2 5.56 guns that you can kind of start off the game with, right? So, with this, the first one, you got your M4, right? Everybody loves M4, especially later. It is a little more difficult to get, but if you start off as a USEC, you pick the right faction, right? Got to make sure you pick the right one. Screw them bears, man. Okay? And, you know, this makes it definitely a little easier, and it's a little easier to do these builds with the M4s, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But then also, you can go to Skier Level 1 and buy the ADAR for about 45k. So that gets you the ability to use the 5.56 guns. It's semi-automatic only, unlike the M4, so it does make it a little bit harder, but you're placing your shots, you're being a little more accountable for your rounds there. So we're going to talk about how to build both these. There is a little bit of a difference. Like I said, the M4 is a little easier, so and I'll talk about that here in a second. So first, we're going to take a base ADAR just because you can buy it. You go over to Skier, and you're buying that. You're going to buy some other things from Skier as well. You're going to buy the RK6 foregrip, and if you want to, you can buy the AR-15 Magpul handguard for it, because you can't fit the other handguard I'm going to talk about on the ADAR due to the barrel length. So make sure you go in. If you want a different handguard, you can buy this. I'm going to showcase another one, but it is a barter trade, but you can buy this one for 10k here. Okay. Now we're going to dive over. Next place we're going to go, we'll head down to Peacekeeper first. So if you're using an ADAR, you're going to have to replace, you don't have to replace the stock, but you're going to have to look at, if you want like a different pistol grip and things like that, you're going to look at the AR-15A2 pistol grip, the M4 SS stock here. And then there's some sight options you can do. The burst flashfire 3, and you have to buy the mount for it as well. And then you're buying the mags from Peacekeeper and ammo. So M855 is available from level 1. I don't know if M856 is unlocked behind a quest, but I know M855 is from level 1, day 1, if this is the gun you want to use. So we're going to throw over. We're going to go over to mechanic here. If you do want to end up putting a different handguard and getting rid of this the ugly front sight post that's here, you do come over and you get the MK12 low profile gas block. And if you want to put a flashlight on there, you got a couple flashlight options here. You do have a couple other flashlight options from Skier as well, but this is the one I use just because it's one piece. It's easier to just throw on there. So the handguard I'm going to showcase with the ADAR here is the RIS-2 from Daniel Defense. It is a Peacekeeper barter trade. Now, the barter trade is an emergency water ration, which you can find on woods. You can find interchange in duffel bags, things like that. I've kind of found them all over the place. You can find them in Goshen a lot as well. So it is a trade, and I am going to use that because this handguard here, the CAC RIS handguard, works on the M4 because of the barrel length. So the barrel length between the ADAR and the M4 is a little different. So you can't fit this on there, but if you did start with a USEC and you got those M4s, or you pick an M4 up from somewhere, you can use this handguard here to fit all the attachments on the front. But with the ADAR, we are using the Daniel Defense one, and it is that barter trade for the emergency water ration, just so you guys know. Now let's get into building these guns here. So I've got all the parts selected here. All right, I'm going to assume you guys don't have the workbench. If you do have the workbench, you just right-click and hit Edit Preset. You can select all the parts, or you can go into modding as well and select all the parts that you have in your stash. If you don't have the workbench here, we're going to click into it. And the first things I'm going to remove the stock, handguard, the M4FS stupid front sight post. I hate those things, even in real life. They're absolutely terrible. We're going to take the magazine out just for convenience. And now we can click out of this and just start throwing stuff on. Okay, so pistol grip, sight there, handguard, this, and that. You got to make sure that you do have the gas block on there. That is something a lot of people forget. So it will not work if you don't put that on there. It's not going to allow you to use the weapon. So I always move the flashlights over to the left-hand side of the weapon because every PMC is apparently right-handed. So I just forget it's there, and I forget to use it if I don't have it. So, but there's your ADAR right there. Okay, this is, it's getting you down to 86 vertical recoil. You got 236 horizontal recoil. Ergonomics is 52. It's a pretty good little selection there. I am using the Cobra from Jaeger just because I do have Jaeger unlocked. You can use some other sights from Peacekeeper that I mentioned earlier, but this is the one that I am using. With this, you are now good to go. Like this is a gun you could take into raid. It's going to confuse some people and when they pick it up because they'll be like, oh shit, an M4, because you don't have all the wood furniture on there. If you wanted to make it a little cheaper for you, you can take the wood furniture back off and then just throw that guy on there. Okay, and even if you really wanted to make it even cheaper just to get rid of the front sight post, you can keep the wood furniture on there, and that way you can use a red dot sight with your gun there. So that's going to bring it down to about 60K total build without the wood furniture and replacing pretty much everything at that point is about 100K. So it can be pretty steep early game, especially if you're starting, you got that 400K, I think that the standard edition comes with. So it can be pretty steep, but a lot of people like the 5.56, and there's a reason, because it's pretty easy to use and it's pretty plentiful. Now with the M4, you can use the CAC wrist handguard that I mentioned earlier that you can buy. It's the difference in barrel. So if you come to the M4 barrel versus the ADAR barrel, with the ADAR you're getting a 406 millimeter barrel. With the AR-15 you're getting a 370 millimeter barrel. So though that is your difference, it just doesn't allow you to do it. I don't know why, but that's the way the game is. It's probably because the gas piston system, not the piston system, but the gas system is a different length. So, but you can do it the other way around. If you wanted to take the wrist handguard off and you wanted to put the Daniel Defense one on, the M4, you can. It fits just fine. You just need to make sure you have that low profile gas block so it does not interfere with the rail at all. We are going to talk about stat differences. Okay, so with the standard M4 ergonomics, you're actually going to lose ergonomics here with this build. It's not as important this early just because you're just getting a gun with a sight on it. You're not overly worried about the statistics as much. I am more worried about recoil personally, and we do see an recoil improvement here, but you do lose some ergonomics going from a standard base M4 to the customized M4 here. Now, recoil, the big stuff, we are going to drop down to 85 vertical recoil from 90, and then 235 from 247. Now, it is not a huge jump here. It's not a huge jump, but it is something. Now, is it going to make much of a difference? Not really. It's just personally how I like to run the guns, just because I do like to get it as low as possible because I am terrible with recoil compensation. So as low as possible for me is more important, and I'm going to spend a few extra rubles on those little extra options and benefits because they matter to me. Now let's go back over. We're going to go back over the ADAR here, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to compare a base ADAR with the customizable ADAR here. Now, you're losing ergonomics again. You're going down from 60 to 52 ergo. So just as a reminder, ergonomics affect like how long you can look down the gun, noises, how quickly you can look down your sights, things like that. But you are, again, losing some vertical recoil. You're going from 91 to 86, and then from 248 horizontal to 236. Like you said, not a big improvement here, but it is a way to customize a gun and get a sight on it, at least to get rid of this ugly front sight post. Okay, because that's the big important thing, is getting rid of that ugly front sight post. At least that's important to me, and that's what I'm trying to show you guys how to do all from the beginning. Now, when we talked a little bit about price earlier, but the price difference here, with the price of the ADAR being about 45K and all of the attachments and things we're putting on it, we are talking about 100K for this guy right here. M4 is probably about the same thing. There is a trade for the M4 early, but if you're a USEC, you do get M4s right off the bat, with a bunch of extra magazines, ammo, all that kind of stuff, so you're not worried about buying those things. But if you do start as a bear, the ADAR is your option, and you do have to find those emergency water rations to get this build put together. Thank you everybody for watching the video. If you liked it, please feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. If you want to see more videos like this, comment down below on the videos and the guns that you want to see, and I hope to find you in raid or in the next video. Have a good one.
One.
You have action far corner, Sean?
Вали! Вали, ебать, такой, блядь, ебать его!
Oh, he got me too. I don't even know how.